some real estate content. So we're gonna jump right into the topic. Today I'm gonna be telling you guys how to buy a home in 2020. Let me put this little thing down. So basically, if you see me looking down, I'm looking at my iPad so I can like kind of keep it together. I can have like my outline, And anyway, hi, my name is Ashley Taylor, and if you didn't know, I'm a licensed realtor here in Georgia. And so if you guys are looking to buy or sell, I'm your girl. Anyway, today I wanted to talk about how to buy a home in 2020. Now, this is one of the most asked questions I get. I have a lot of people, because most of my clients are millennials like me. You know, we're just graduating or kind of finding our jobs, starting our families, thinking about the idea, entertaining the idea of buying a house, settling down. And so it's like, where do I start? What are the steps? What do I do? So I hope that this video will answer some questions for you guys. This is going to be how to buy a home, the process in a very basic level. So I'm just going to kind of talk about the main steps in the process. And then I plan to do other videos after this, kind of going more in depth with each topic. So of course, if you have any questions, be sure to leave them below. But let's jump right into the video. Okay, so the first step to buying a home, I feel, is to find an agent. Now, I'm not just saying this because I'm an agent, because I want to work with you. Any agent that you feel connected to, I think it's very important that you find an agent as your first step, especially if you're a first-time home buyer or you're kind of confused about the process to buy a home. What that's going to do is give you a professional on your side. The reason you have an agent is someone to guide you along the way, someone who knows the process, who's licensed in the process and understands it, and they can hold your hand throughout the process and just educate you on what's going on, clarify any questions you have is essential. Now, the reason I say this is the first step is because the next step kind of leads into that. So I'm going to go ahead and say the next step, and then I'll kind of talk back about it. So the second step is to get pre-approved with a lender. So you need to secure financing. Now, this also is something where people are like, okay, what lender do I go to? What bank do I go to? What do I do? This is where your agent comes in handy. We have worked with lenders throughout our community. We know the really great ones. We know the ones maybe you need to stay away from, and we can help you get in contact with that lender in order to get your pre-approval. We have recommendations. We've just worked with people we know. We got you. So the pre-approval process, jumping back, sorry I'm all over the place, but the pre-approval process is the most important first step. Like, it is so important. The pre-approval process is so important because it's going to let you know what you can afford. Not necessarily what you can afford, but what the bank is willing to lend you towards a home loan. Now, of course, if you have cash and you're going to be paying cash for your home, you can skip this step. You know what your budget is. You know what you want to spend. You can just get with your agent and start looking at homes right away. But if you are going to be securing a loan through a bank, you need to be pre-approved. So that process is normally online, especially with COVID-19. Everything is online, but it's been online for quite some time. You go online, you input your information, you know, your name, your social security number, where you work, how much you make, what debts you have, all that type of information. And they actually go through and run your credit. They're going to look into all the debts, get your debt to income ratio, and decide how much they're willing to loan you. Now, the reason I say it's a little bit different from what you can afford is because sometimes the bank will loan you, let's just say $300,000. But after you look at your budget and determine for yourself, your family, what you're interested in, you actually kind of want to stay somewhere closer to 260, 270, and that's okay. But that pre-approval is so important because a lot of times you may be looking 260, 270, when in reality, they maybe only want to lend you 250. So this step is really going to help you decide where to look, how much you're looking to spend, and then after you get pre-approved, you can determine for yourself how much you actually want to spend by looking at your budget. I say this is essential because when you're looking at houses, especially when you're in a market like we are in right now, which is for the most part a seller's market, every area is different, but right now I've seen a lot of the seller's market, homes are flying off the market. And in order to have a competitive edge, when you put in your offer, you need to have your pre-approval. The seller is going to want to see that you actually have the money to back up the offer that you just put in. And so if you go out and look at a house today, you love it, maybe there's 2 other people looking at the house today, you want to put in an offer, but if you don't have that pre-approval, your offer really doesn't hold much weight, honestly, and you probably will be overlooked. So when we start the process and have your pre-approval in hand, when you see the home you want, we can send it in and it's yours, period. Okay, so the next part is the home search. That's the best part, right? This is the part, house hunters, HGTV, this is what we're all excited about. This is where you determine the criteria for your home, and your agent will help you find homes that fit your criteria in your area, in your price range, for what you want to see. So yeah, this is a great part. This is the fun part. Before I start working with my clients, I always tell them to kind of have it in the back of your mind. Number one, the area that you want to live in, super important. So I can go ahead and start getting fillers out in the market so that I know exactly when something comes on the market, I can send it right to you. You want to know finishes, things like that. Not necessarily paint color as much, things like that you can change, but your finishes, your location, do you want a yard? Do you want a master on the main? Owner's suite on the main? Sorry. And different things like that. So this is the fun part. Some agents will go and actually preview homes before we show you. I think this is amazing, and I love doing this for my clients. For instance, I don't want to make this too long, but whatever. I have a client right now that was looking in Fairburn, Georgia, and right now in Fairburn, Georgia, homes are flying off the market. Like, they are going so fast. So as soon as we got his pre-approval letter in, I knew what he was looking for. I was calling up neighborhoods with new construction. It's a little bit different with new construction. So I was calling up the builders and the on-site agents to try to see, can I come see these properties? What do you have available? How many do you have? By actually going out and previewing the property, I was able to see a home that wasn't on the MLS, so it was not currently on the market. I was able to get some video content for my buyer, and we actually were able to get our offer in first before it even hit the market, just because I was out on the ground actually talking to people and actually seeing what's going on. So a lot of times your agent will preview the home beforehand. Pictures and videos are great, but what they don't show is what they don't want to show. So there may be something across the street that's maybe not as attractive. There may be something that, you know, will deter buyers from buying a home, and they're not going to include that on the photos. It's not going to be on Zillow. It's not going to be in any description. So by going out and just writing, taking a look at the house, we're able to really narrow down homes that you will be interested in, and that will be a great fit for your family. I've been talking so long, I gotta unlock my iPad. All right, so next, offer and negotiations. So this is after you found a home that you love, you just love it, okay? You go and you write an offer on it. So again, this is why the pre-approval is important. We already have your pre-approval. We've secured the house and we know which one you want. Now we go and write up an offer with the terms that we've agreed to. So your buyer, not your buyer, your agent will help you determine how much the home is actually worth by looking at comps in the neighborhood. So things that have sold recently, how much did they sell for? What did they look like? What features did they have? Are they similar to the home that you're interested to come up with the perfect price to offer on the home. You can decide when you want your closing to be. You decide if you want the seller to pay anything towards closing costs, and if so, how much. Are there any other things that you want included with the home? Are there something you want fixed with the home? Did you see any issues? All of these things are all encompassing into your offer. And so after we've talked about it and decided what you guys are looking for, then we will actually submit the offer to the listing agent, and negotiations go back and forth. So maybe the offer number that you put in is a little bit low. They're like, you know what, that's cute, but we needed it to come up a little bit. They will counter offer. So yeah, so once you put in your offer, the listing agent actually presents that to the seller. And then 3 things can happen. They can either accept your offer as is with everything you stated. They can counter your offer, which is where they say, not quite what we want, but we can make some type of negotiation. We can get to a deal. So they will counter offer, give you an offer saying, we can't do this, but we will do this, so that you guys can come to an agreement. or they will reject your offer altogether, which is not what you want to happen, but sometimes it happens. And so with that process, after you go back and forth and you guys actually get on a common ground where everyone is happy, you are under contract. So now with the under contract, there are a lot of things that go into that due diligence period until closing. So first things you want to do is to secure home inspection, and this is normally during your due diligence period. So the due diligence period is basically where, again, you've negotiated this in the terms of your contract for a specific amount of days. You have the right to change your mind and still get your earnest money back. Earnest money is what you put with your offer to show the seller that you're serious. It goes towards your home purchase. And basically, if you change your mind within your due diligence period, you can get your money back. If you decide you don't want the house, but the due diligence period is already gone, that earnest money will then be given to the seller as consideration for basically wasting their time. Not really wasting their time, I don't want to say that, that sounds rude, but it will basically be given to them, you know, for having their home off the market. They weren't considering any other offers, so maybe this is, you know, 15 days later, the home is still on the market, and now they have to go put it back on the market and wait for someone else. It's just like a gesture. So yes, home inspection. I always recommend home inspections to my clients. It's really important, especially if you're buying a resale home, so a home that someone has lived in before. You want to see, you know, the status, or you want to see how the home is doing. You know, from the basic eye, the naked eye, you may not be able to look at the roof and see that there are leaks in the attic. You may not be able to look at the HVAC air conditioning unit outside to see this only probably has about a year of life left. So it's really great to have a professional come in to inspect the home to see if there's any defaults or anything that needs to be addressed. And this is the time to do it. So you get your home inspection. After you get that, you can amend the contract to address concerns. So let's say you get a home inspection and your inspector says the AC unit is trash. I mean, you're probably gonna have to buy a new unit a year when you get in there. Now, as you know, or you probably know, AC units are extremely expensive. So that's not a cost you're really gonna wanna incur within your first year after purchasing a home. So we can draw up an amendment to address concerns and say, hey, our inspector found that the AC is not working. We would really like for you guys to replace it. Or you can say, we would like for you guys to give us, you know, $2,000 off the price of the home in consideration for the fact that we have to buy it. As I was saying, you know, maybe you want the seller to pay up to $2,000 to assist you in getting a new air conditioning unit. Those are all things that you write in your amendment, and the seller can either accept or deny. So they're not obligated to fix anything, but sometimes the sellers will see an issue and they will address it in order to sell their homes. So then the next step is the appraisal. So normally the lending company, whoever you decided to go with to secure your financing, will send out an appraiser, and they will go take a look at the home to see what the home is worth. This is really important, and this is why it's important to have a buyer's agent and someone who can help you to establish how much the home is worth in the beginning, so that you're not overpaying or over offering on a home based on its value. So when the appraiser comes out, they're going to look at the home, and let's say you put in an offer for the home for $250,000. They come out and they say, yeah, it's only worth about $220,000. The lender, the bank, whoever you secure financing from, will not loan you $250,000 for a home that's not worth that. So either you're gonna have to negotiate with the seller to bring the price down to what it's actually appraised for, or you, the buyer, will have to pay the difference, which a lot of times is kind of unreasonable unless it's just a small amount. So it's something to keep in mind. Again, it's the reason you need an agent or professional to help you establish how much that home is worth. And then after the appraisal, that you go into title search and underwriting. And this is where the attorney who is handling the closing and all the legal documents, because buying a home is a complete legal situation, which is why, sis, bro, get you somebody that can help you, because this is real, okay? We talking real legal paperwork here. This is where they ensure your ownership rights. So they go back and make sure that the seller who's actually selling the home owns the home clear and outright and doesn't have any liens or any issues with the home. There's not another seller who could possibly come back and say, hey, this is my house, I ain't telling them they can sell it. They check all of that for you guys to ensure that the title is clear, so that it can be transferred over to you. And then you go through your underwriting with the financing, which is where they're going to check your credit one more time, which is why, pro tip, if you're buying a house, you've already got pre-approved for your home, lay low with your credit. Do not go buy a new car. Don't go apply for a new credit card. Don't get into any more debt. Just save your money. Keep your credit where it is, because right before closing, the lender is going to go back and check all of your credentials. They're going to ensure that you're still at your job. They're going to ensure you're still making the same amount of money. They're going to ensure that your credit is the same. And so if you go and, let's say, buy a car and it drops your credit, now you may not qualify for that loan, and the entire closing and everything is gone. Just like that. My paycheck gone. So lay low with your credit. Lay low. And then basically, like I said, they're just going to go through the entire process, check to be sure everything is good with financing, and then closing. My favorite day, my client's favorite days, everybody's favorite days. Today we all look forward to closing. Now with COVID-19, it's been a little bit different. I had, well, two of my clients actually went into the office for closings. One went into the office. This is right as it was kind of happening, so it wasn't too bad. The agents weren't allowed to go, so it was just them. And then my last clients, they actually did a curbside closing. So they actually just drove up, the attorney's office brought down all the paperwork, they signed it, got the keys, homeowner. So yeah, that's closing day, which is really exciting because you get the keys to your home. Everything has went through. The title is transferred over into your name and you're a homeowner and the process is done. So hopefully this video gave you guys a little bit of insight about the process to buy a home. Hopefully it wasn't too confusing. I didn't talk too much because I know I can like chat. But hopefully you guys enjoyed and learned something. And if you did, please leave me a comment down below. Don't forget to share my video. Tell your friend about me, tell your family about me. I would love to work with you guys. And as always, if you guys are looking to buy or sell a home or have any questions, let me know, reach out to me. Peace and love. Sending all of it your way, child. I love you guys. Bye. Let me click y'all off on my little clicker.